Vulnerability of pregnant woman and funeral. I want to advise pregnant woman to avoid going to funeral and public party. You are exposing the baby. It is in the funeral that I saw a pregnant woman that was supposed to receive the demon that dwell in me. In Africa, in many funeral there are people that are complete stranger. They have no connection to the family of the deceased person. I came to this funeral to find a body where the demon in my body will enter. When I sat in that funeral, the demon that was within my body told me, I found a body where I can live. I can see a pregnant woman dancing there in the lone of the people dancing around the coffin. People were actually dancing around the coffin, which is demonic. When I joined the pregnant lady in the dance queue, immediately we were joined by the goddess of the sea. At that moment, I began to feel the demon leaving my body and rising to my head. He told me get closer to the pregnant lady. When I moved closer to this lady, this demon entered in the body of the pregnant lady. The goddess Elizabeth touched my eyes to enable me to see the demon inside the pregnant woman. When I looked, I saw the demon in the womb of the pregnant woman sitting close to the baby. I thought in myself, this baby will surely become demonic. I said goodbye to the demon. I went away with the goddess Elizabeth, who entered a portal leading to the Atlantic Ocean. My consideration to leave occultism and reaction of the satanic world. When I went home, I sat on the chair. I said in my heart, God, I am tired of this activity of Satanism. I have so much complication, I cannot rest, and when can I ever get peace? Every single day, I have to interrupt my sleep to do these activity. Immediately I saw a demon showing up before me. He asked me, what are you thinking about? I said what I am thinking about is in my heart. He told me, you got to understand that there is no way out for you. From the moment you start to think about leaving us, we will know everything. He told me, the day you will think about going to church for deliverance, on that day we will enter the wind and we will stab you to death. In truth, I was wondering about the way out of occultism. Most of these pastors in the city were in our camp. There was no place to run to. This demon told me, you have everything with us, what else do you lack? Very soon you will get all the power. At that moment the demon Johnny Walker appeared. He was holding his whip. When I saw him, I knew that I was in trouble, for he is the master of discipline of the dark world. I wanted to kneel before him. He told me don't kneel and stand. Then he began to whip me with his whip and I began to scream. He assaulted me to a point where I went into coma. Satanism in the Catholic Church. Later the angel of Satan told me, you are failing to sacrifice your sister because you have double heart. The angel told me, you gonna use the prayer of the end of life against your sister. This prayer invite the spirit of death to capture the soul of the victim. This is a prayer that Catholic priests do on the sick, supposedly to heal them. In truth, thanks to this prayer, they capture the spirit of the sick and they give authorization to the angel of death over the sick. And what happened is that after 3 days of this prayer the person will die. Many in our borough have noticed this sinister truth. They said in the city, when your loved one is sick, don't call the Catholic priest, for if he ever pray for him he will die. In fact, I was supposed to use this prayer on my sister that was supposed to die. I did that prayer of the end of life in the hospital. Afterward I did the prayer of St. Luke and St. Mark to destroy my sister defense. I was praying in the name of Jesus, but it was not really the case. When I continued to pray deep in the night, my mother, who was sleeping, woke up and told me, I can see many people entering the house. I can hear noises from them. When I looked, I saw that the house was filled with mermaid and lady who were water spirit. These water spirit were mocking my mother, saying, is this the one who was fighting us in prayer? We will show her. These marine spirit opened the spiritual vision of my mother and she saw one of them. That was a mermaid whose lower part was snake. When my mother saw this snake lady, she screamed and fell to the ground. The demon of forgetfulness and memory loss. Immediately the goddess Elizabeth told me, lay your hand on your mother and transmit her the spirit of forgetfulness. I lay hand on my mother so that she would forget what she saw. Often God give dream that contain important message to his children, but there is an angel of Satan in charge of memory loss. He travel in the night and place his hand on the people so that they will forget the message that was in the dream that God gave them. He steal the dream and the message in the dream. He even distort the dream and confuse the dream. Later on, my sister Rachel went to bath. When she was washing, I saw the angel of Satan Jorgen appearing with a stick that looked like a baseball bat. He told me, "Abby, I have intervened and fight for you, but you must kill your sister. This is the time for you to mark history. Take this bat and hit Rachel on the head to execute her when she come out of the toilet." Immediately, I saw that my heart was down. My hand began to shake. I saw that the skin and scale of animals began to appear on my body. I took the stick and I was heading around the bathroom where my sister was bathing in order to hit her when she come out. At that moment the cherubim of Satan called Heavy appeared, and he told me, "I am here for your security. Go and do it. No one will stop you." At that moment I saw the Ocean Queen Micheline and Elizabeth appearing inside the bathroom where my sister was bathing, and they were singing incantation. They told me, "When she come out you must execute her." I stood outside waiting for my sister to come out so that I can kill her. I saw that my heart changed and got wicked and I was shaking. As soon as Rachel came out, I hit her with the stick and she fell to the ground. Micheline told me, "You have done your part, now you can go, for no one has seen you." I went to rest around the river. When it was sundown, I saw the water changing and Lady of the Sea were entering water in order to return to the marine world. Micheline and Elizabeth told me, "We are celebrating the death of Rachel for she is dead." When I began to walk the street I saw the crowd around our compound. They told me Rachel is dead. I saw that my mother was getting the body in the car to transport it to the hospital. As soon as the driver started the car, I saw the pastor coming. He asked the driver to stop the car, for he wanted to pray for the body of my sister. This pastor was dangerous. Quickly I pushed him away, and I told the pastor this is not the time to pray. Rachel must be taken to the hospital. Immediately many demons came and entered the bodies of the crowd, and they influenced the crowd to stop the pastor from praying, and finally the driver drove away to the hospital, where Rachel was examined. Instead of declaring her dead, she was placed in intensive care and in machine, but after 3 days she began to move. I was informed that despite the fact that I executed my sister, her spirit was not captive nor detained in captivity in the temple. In truth, her spirit was nowhere to be found in the spirit world. Jorgen told me, "You're gonna have to go to the hospital to execute her once for all, for she is nowhere to be found. But don't do astral journey, because this pastor who is our opponent is in prayer, and his God is showing him our strategy. His God is revealing to him our move and our steps." When I went to the hospital, I met my mother who told me that Rachel could be released for she is moving. This news took away my joy and I was alarmed. When I took the transport heading to the hospital in order to execute Rachel, I saw mysterious people dressed in white before the bus that was moving. I found the whole thing strange. I said to the driver, "Is this bus moving? This bus seemed to be in one place, it is not moving." The driver was surprised to hear this. He told me, "You are crazy, the bus is moving and you are telling us that we are in one place." According to the driver the bus was moving, but I saw that we were in one place. I got off the bus quickly. When I got off I realized that I could not identify where I was in confusion, and there was something wrong with my brain. I saw a man in the street who told me, "If you reach that hospital to do what you want you are going to die." In this confusion I kept walking not knowing where I was going. Later I saw a seer. He told me, "You are trying to follow up on the body in the hospital, right? I want to inform you that you won't be able to kill that lady, but I can direct you to a place where you will recognize where you are." This seer asked me to close my eyes. When I did he transported me to a cemetery that I know, and I was able to identify where I was. The seer told me, "Your family is making claim on Rachel's soul, just get together with them." Immediately I saw the angel of Satan Jorgen coming. Quickly he transported me to the air. From the air we ended up under the water, and then we reappear on the land. I began to pray to recover my conscious. I was calling the spirit of consciousness. False pastor also call this spirit when they want to awaken people that are slain on the ground. Then I went to the river and I jumped in the river. I began to descend like a stone. When I reached the floor, I saw the Queen Micheline and the goddess Elizabeth. They were seated on their throne. They told me, "Your sister Rachel is incredible. No one knows where her spirit is. We tried to summon and capture her, but in vain. Get back to the surface world and aggravate her situation." I was informed that Rachel was improving in the hospital. When I went to the hospital, to my surprise, I saw the pastor who has been fighting on behalf of Rachel. He told me, "You are not entering here. Whatever you are doing against Rachel will not work, and if you dare to touch Rachel you will die." I said to the pastor, "I am not afraid of you, you are not scaring me, I have won great victory against Christian." The pastor was the one who was waging war to stop the death of Rachel. I decided to move Rachel away from the capital because of this pastor, hoping that the absence of the pastor will be an advantage for us. Since my mother had friends that she listened to, I went to one of them in the spirit. I enter in her body. Though she was a church-goer, I did not encounter fire or opposition, for she was empty. Quickly I began to speak in her brain. I inserted in her memory and brain the idea that my mother should take Rachel out of the capital for treatment. "I want to tell you, mother, to learn to hear God before applying suggestion of your friend." This woman went to tell my mother that in Lower Congo they are preacher healing people from madness and difficult sickness. She said in my province Rachel could be healed. In truth these words did not come from her, for I put them in her while she was sleeping. When she told my mother things that I place in her mind, the Lady of the Sea began to put word in the mouth of people around so that they would back this idea. These people were speaking out of demonic intuition. Since we wanted Rachel to move to Lower Congo far from this pastor, the goddess Elizabeth visited my mother friend in order to give her a dream in her sleep. "My friend, we must not play with dream, they are essential. We must learn to decode the message in dream." The goddess Elizabeth caused my mother friend to dream that we went to Lower Congo and Rachel was healed there. When my family took Rachel out of the capital, I wanted to do astral traveling, but I saw the space was blocked. I received a message that I will need another body to get there. When it was time to travel, I concentrated. I saw that my feet began to melt together. I saw the skin of bat coming out of my skin. I saw my hand changing like that of the bird. I saw that my teeth became long, my ear became elongated. In short, I became a bat. I was supposed to rise in altitude with these demons who also had the shape of bat in order to travel to the river to the lower province where Rachel was taken. When a tempest arose, I began to rise. In an altitude of a meter, I saw a group of people coming and singing Christian song. Immediately a demon told me, "You have to rise before they see you." Yet the song of these people was stopping me from rising. At this point I was already an animal. When I came down I looked at the people that were coming as they were singing, and when these people saw me in this animal shape, they screamed in terror and they began to run away. I began to chase them. I managed to touch some of them on the neck or the hand. These touch were sickness that were supposed to appear later. One of them was killed because he was able to identify me despite my transformation that was not complete in the area of my face. After this incident I traveled to Lower Congo in order to find a way to capture the spirit of Rachel. When we arrive, our task was determined in advance by the spirit world and territorial ruler. I was still in the shape of a bat when I got to this region. After getting instruction from Bat Demon deep in the bush in the night, I saw a woman coming alone in this remote place deep in the night. The woman welcomed me and told me, "I was appointed to welcome you in this region. There is a service to be done. You will need a sacrifice of many souls." The woman took me around the river. As we were moving around the Congo River, I saw a paranormal phenomena. I saw the national river rising and opening, and we began to descend inside the river and enter the world that is beneath the water. The goddess Elizabeth said, "Fear not, for all the water of the world belong to us, they are ours." When we enter the submarine world, I saw a king of the sea. The goddess Elizabeth told me, "This is our master." I was introduced to a merman, a triton, who is the king of the sea, in the name of King Pirion, a master of the ocean. As a matter of fact, Pirion is also the name of the national company in Angola that exploit oil under the Atlantic Ocean. There is a reason why the Angolan national company that extract oil in the ocean is called Pirion. They have probably signed a pact with him, and they named the company after him. When the King Pirion appeared, I saw that he was holding a trident, and water was taking us toward him. When we got closer, the King Pirion told me, "I will help you cause the accident for the sacrifice of many souls. But you have to determine the number of the victim, for you will get the number of the victim you want." The king told the ladies of the sea around him, "Very soon I will send you to the earth in human shape and mission." At that moment a whirlwind arose and began to turn around. I saw Micheline, Elizabeth and Gabriel joining King Pirian in the whirlwind, and they began to descend underwater. The king told me, "You will fulfill your mission. There will be opposition, but be wise. I am giving you this trident and you will work with this trident." When we were leaving this place we encounter a goddess that work in Angola in the name of Sheikh Idina. She told me, "The King Pirian have entrusted me everything you will need to carry out this mission." In this region we went to a temple where my mother and her friend brought my sister for healing. While my mother sat there waiting for the healing of Rachel, I asked the charlatan to capture the spirit of Rachel. He was warned of my arrival and the mission in the region. When we got to the temple, there were ritual and dancing. This temple was a small house, but in the spirit it was a tall building with many floors. The charlatan of this lodge told us this place that seems nothing was a building heading to the sky. He began to summon a goddess that come from the sky. She took a while to step down the endless stairs of the unseen building, and while the ritual went on the priest warned us about the arrival of the goddess, who was coming down. We all heard the steps of the goddess but we could not see her. When the goddess from the sky reached the floor, the charlatan and his servant knelt down and greeted her. Since I did not kneel before her, she got angry for I failed to honor her. She asked the priest, "Why is this young man failing to kneel before me?" When the goddess began to threaten me, I saw the angel Yorgan entering my body and began to whistle like a wolf to scare this goddess. The King Pirian was in control of my protection against territorial spirit of this region. The angel Yorgan who was whistling like a wolf told me, "This goddess is testing and provoking us. You got to show her." When I got angry I saw animal skin appearing on my skin. When this goddess moved forward to attack me, I heard unseen spirit telling me, "We are protecting you." When the goddess heard them she stepped back. She told me, "Your mission here will fail. I need Rachel's soul to serve me when she die." I said, "We need her to serve us when she die." This female devil asked me, "Who is with you?" I said, "I am working with the Queen Micheline, the goddess Elizabeth and the Princess Gabriel." She told me, "These are my daughters, and all the spirit with you are my daughters." I said, "Yes, they are your daughter underwater, but here they are under my responsibility for a long time." I said to her, "I want to see your face and shape." She told me, "You will not see my face and shape, but I will see you." When I was talking to this goddess my family around me could not hear, for it was a communication in the spirit. When I did magic prayer I saw that my vision opened and I saw this lady of the sea. This female devil had red hair, she was wearing the skin of a crocodile, and she had rose nail polish. Yorgan enabled me to see the shape and identity of this goddess that came from the sky. Yorgan told me, "Ask her why she has red hair and rose nail polish on the nail." When I asked her, "Why do you have red hair and rose nail polish?" she said, "You have seen my face and shape." I said to this goddess, "The fact that you have red hair means that you are not higher than these lady of the sea that are under my authority." When she heard these words she got angry. She said, "Now you will bow before me. I will count up to 3. If you don't kneel before me I will attack you." I said, "You will attack me but I will not be reached." This goddess lifted her hand. I saw a ball of fire appearing on her hand, and she pointed her hand to me. She shot me with this ball of fire, that was deflected and could not reach me. I saw this fireball reaching the woman that was seating among the people who influenced my mother to come to this place. This lady began to cry and she was on the ground. I told this goddess, "You will stop shooting fire, because you will not reach me. Let me tell you that in the end you will serve me." When she heard these words she got more angry. As a result, I saw her nails getting longer. Then Yorgan instructed me to turn around 3 times. When I followed Yorgan's instruction, I saw horns coming out of my head and these horns flew towards the goddess and pierced her. She fell to the ground in agony and disappeared. After this incident, the ritual began. During the ritual we did thanksgiving prayer to the principality who have received me in the area, I mean the King Pirian of the sea. Then we did purification of Rachel's body. As the ritual continued, finally I saw the spirit of Rachel that could not be seen appearing for the first time. Finally we have managed to capture Rachel's spirit in the bottle. I saw Rachel's spirit seated inside the bottle and she was crying. The charlatan asked the king Pirian to enter in Rachel's body and replace her spirit that is in captivity in the bottle. When my mother and sister woke up in the morning, my mother asked, "How is Rachel?" I said, "Look at her, she is fine." When mother looked at Rachel, she saw that she has recovered and she was healed. In truth, Rachel was in a bottle, and a demon was animating her body pretending to be her. When there was eyes contact between me and Rachel's body, something happened that I never understood. Rachel asked me, "Brother, why have you done this?" Immediately the angel of Satan Jorgen entered in me and replied, "I did this to save you, my sister." Later I thank King Pirian who received me in this territory, and then we returned to the capital. I went to attend the morning. My friend, a member of our temple, I saw a man saying, "Baby, that you were looking for has come." When I looked at this man in the forehead, I saw that he had ashes. Some witches have teeth of animal, some have shape of animal in their soul, some have ears whole. When this brother shouted my name, I did not know that the pastor was there. Quickly he came to me. To my surprise, he was less antagonist. He told me, "My brother in the Lord, I want to talk to you." I said, "What do you mean when you call me beloved in the Lord?" The pastor said, "I know that we have been treading hard language, but it's all right, for I know there are spirits that cause you to speak that way." I said to the pastor, "You also are animated by spirit that cause you to be antagonistic toward me." The pastor said, "My brother, I really need to talk to you today. This talk is critical, it can cause you problem, even before the official, but I want us to resolve it." The pastor pulled out the letter written by my late friend who had confessed his occultism in the letter, and wrote that he was gonna die because of his occult practice. This letter also revealed that I was part of this practice. The pastor asked me, "Do you recognize the handwriting of this letter?" I said, "Pastor, I don't recognize this handwriting." As I continued to talk to the pastor, I saw the demon of laughter and comedy appearing before me. This demon caused people to laugh. He asked me, "Baby, how are you? No see for long time." I said, "I am fine." He told me, "I have no service, that is why I came here for laugh." "You don't need to answer this pastor question, let me answer his question." Immediately the demon of comedy entered my body and took over my mouth. He told me, "You don't answer him, for I will answer all the question." Then the pastor asked me, "Baby, are you sure you have never seen this handwriting?" The demon of comedy said to the pastor through my mouth, "Among my classmates I never saw this handwriting." The pastor said, "I am not asking about your classmate, I am asking you whether you have ever seen this handwriting." The demon of comedy said to the pastor, "I have never seen this handwriting." Quickly the pastor said, "I am talking to Baby, I am not talking to you." When I saw that this pastor has identified the demon of comedy in my body, immediately I regained my mouth from the demon and I said to the pastor, "How can you say you are talking to me? There is only one person here, which is me. What do you mean when you say I am not talking to you? I am talking to Baby." The pastor said, "In the name of Jesus Christ I command the spirit speaking in this body to leave." At that moment I began to shake and I tremble in my spirit. The pastor said, "I take authority and control over this perimeter." Immediately the angel of Satan Jorgen told me, "Baby, you must deal with him violently, just insult him in order to aggravate and upset him." The pastor said, "All I want is for you to be saved. Just look at your life and your family, you need salvation." I said, "My deliverance is not in your hand, and the name you are mentioning there, I don't want you to be calling me brother in the Lord." The pastor said, "You are now a brother in the Lord," but I refute his claim. The talk with the pastor degenerated, for I insulted him. The pastor said, "It's fine, I leave. It's good that we talk, but one day we will meet." Since the pastor clapped 3 times, I heard the sound of the bell ringing 3 times. This was in itself a passage in the dark world. As a result, I heard the God of the earth telling me, "You saw for yourself the pastor clapping 3 times. He has given us the passage. Today you will terminate him." When the family of my late friend wanted to talk to the pastor, we got concerned that the pastor may disclose the fact that our late friend was in the occult, and when the pastor got in the house to talk to them, we surrounded the house. The angel Jorgen entered the body of a cat that was indoors, in order to hear the pastor conversation with the family. There are animals that are vehicle of wizard and unclean spirit. In this talk the pastor exposed our temple, and he told the family that their loved one was in the occult and was initiated by me and my group. When Jorgen transmitted this conversation to us, very quickly we broke in the house in order to stop the conversation and harden the heart of this family. There was chaos when we enter and accuse the pastor. Immediately the pastor pulled out the letter that had the symbol S and T, which is the representation of the god of the land. Then the pastor asked me to show people my hand, for this symbol of S and T were also engraved in my hand. When people saw it, they were still skeptic and could not accept that this was true, for we had hardened their heart. He asked me to show this family my other hand where there were satanic signs. The family said these are just scars of burning. The pastor told them these are not just scars, they are marks of consecration for his rule and domination in the physical world. Bobby is a member of an occultic group. All these signs are his consecration, but the family was still hardening their heart. The pastor asked the crowds to get out. He said, I am about to do a demonstration once for all. But one of my friend, a member of the occult group, smacked the pastor who was trying to expose us to the family. The pastor lost equilibrium because this smack was charged with satanic power. By the time the pastor was trying to get together, we ran away. When I got home I saw Rachel sitting. I said, how are you, Rachel? She replied, I am not Rachel, I am the spirit you place in Rachel. Your sister is the bottle where you have captured her. The temple called and told me to come to an agreement with the spirit that is dwelling in Rachel and speaking in her mouth, so that he would not tell people that he is not Rachel. But this spirit said to my mother, I am not Rachel though I am in this body. My mother asked me, what is the meaning of this? Why is Rachel talking like this? In truth, Rachel's spirit was captured in the bottle, and a demon was animating his body. Then Jorgen called and told me, Bobby, I am leaving you for 2 weeks. But the demon Pygus of the Islamic religion will replace me and assist you. Later I saw the demon Pygus appearing. He said, I have to introduce myself. I am Pygus and I came for Rachel. I said, enter in Rachel and try to master the spirit that is speaking through her. Pygus said, this is not just one spirit, for there are 2. I said, who are them? He asked me, have you forgotten the king Pirian of the sea who welcome you in the coastal city? He is in the body of Rachel with the goddess Sheikh-Idina. At that moment Jorgen came and told me, Pygus know the king Pirian but he never saw him before. Then Pygus began to draw on the wall the picture of her goddess whose hair were serpent. We must be very careful with drawing in clothing and statue in building and around. These statues soldiers and guarding demon that protect building. When Pygus began to draw on the wall the picture of her goddess whose hair were serpent, I saw the snake of the goddess entering the house. Immediately my mother woke up from the sleep. She said, I can see snake entering the house. Suddenly I noticed that Rachel was bleeding, losing blood. Pygus told me, I invoke the king Pirian and her wife the goddess so that they can execute Rachel's body. I said to him, I did not ask you to do that. The demon replied, you are not supposed to shout at me that way. I said, I am shouting at you in the name of the god of the land. When I lifted my hand, the demon Johnny Walker came and landed. He said to me, I am at your service. I said to Johnny Walker, this demon called Pygus is a rebellious spirit. You must discipline him. Johnny Walker told Pygus, you have failed to handle the spirit of Rachel. That is why you came to destroy her body on Bobby back. Bobby, Jorgen sent Pygus on your back to kill your sister. At that moment Johnny Walker assaulted the demon Pygus and the angel Jorgen, who stepped back away, and Pygus told me, I will use your sister body, I am not going away. At that moment I saw Jorgen, Pygus and King Pirian become one entity, for there was fusion. Jorgen said, Bobby, I am leaving you. I have served you for a long time. Lift your 2 hands so that we can go and return. I lifted one hand. I was about to lift my second hand, then I saw Elizabeth appearing. She told me, bye-bye. When you came for the first time underwater, we welcome you, and we still need you. We cannot let the Say-3 spirit of the land to kill you. If you follow their instruction, they will kill you and you will become their slave. I saw these 3 spirit changing face and taking face of Micheline, Elizabeth and Gabriel. Elizabeth told me they are trying to deceive you in order to destroy you and make you their slave, the Marine Kingdom.